Welcome to my program once again. Glad to have you out there watching, and it's always a pleasure for me to be here and present the program. I'm going to start off with the legal tip that I usually do each week, and this concerns dog bites. We always have that situation where someone gets bitten by a dog, even though there's a leash law today, which requires dogs with their owner to be leashed. And, well, occasionally that doesn't happen. Sometimes the dog gets away. I've seen dogs not leashed running around in a park, and of course there are a lot of children in the park. But let me just let you know quickly about dog bites. This comes under Chapter 140, and it's Section 155. And a dog bite is it's a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter in most cases, unless you use the dog as a weapon, then it could be criminal. But it's a tort action. However, it's not quite like an accident case, a car accident, where someone might be at fault. There might be an argument as to who's at fault. When it comes to dog bites, it's what they call strict liability. So if you have a dog and the dog bites someone, you're going to be liable, strictly, unless there are mitigating circumstances. And I'll just mention a few, which is basically if the dog is taunted, and the dog becomes very aggravated and then bites, well, there's a possibility that you won't be liable. And that, I think maybe it happens less frequently, excuse me, these days, but I remember, dogs in the yard, and they'd be barking along the fence, and kids would taunt the dog. So if the dog bit the child, there could be a possibility of what you might call a mitigating circumstance. And I have a cold, but I'll pass this up. You can see it coughing, and but be aware about the strict liability of ownership of a dog. Okay, and even if you're the caretaker, not necessarily the owner, if you're taking care of the dog, you could be in trouble too. So, Joe Martin, school committee man, glad to have you back.
Thank you very much. Good to be
Anything new in the school department?
back.
You might want to let us know.
We're moving along. The New Durfee has advanced a little bit into the architect stage.
Of
So
the
that's going to take some time.
school?
Yeah, Durfee. Some programs are starting to take place, like vocational programs. So we hope that they will actually be developed.
At the high school?
Yes, at Durfee, and
And what kind of
so that'll be they'll have choices.
what kind of vocational?
A robotics, environmental engineering.
Wow.
Hopefully there'll be some others, but those two are perhaps the starters, which I hope will at least we get it in the idea stage, and hopefully that'll come about.
I might have mentioned this on a previous program, but this person in the industry was being interviewed, and what he was saying was basically that we have a lot of highly educated people, but and we have a lot of, of course, there's always a lot of unskilled. He says, but the gap between the two, where you have skilled vocational people, is great. Basically saying that the American economy industry could use a lot more
Absolutely.
skilled vocational people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So,
You know, when we went talk, when I just mentioned about the robotics, Diffie had a team of something like 6 students, I believe it was, and plus the advisor, and they competed in the New England competition for underwater robotics at the Newport Naval Base. And they
Now,
came
when
in
you say underwater robotics, and what would that be for?
to ships that have been sunken, to perhaps recover, recover a bomb that might be in the water, anything.
Well, okay, when you said it brings to mind what I was trying to get done in regards to Cook Pond, was to have an underwater survey of the pond. And I apparently just missed out, because I went to the old Curran Mill site, what Meditech is?
Meditech, yes,
But
yes.
there's a facility there that's affiliated with UMass Dartmouth.
Mhm.
And I missed being able to get, or have them use what they call the underwater submarine of some sort,
Yeah.
by a few weeks.
Oh.
I don't know what happened. I don't recall, it was about a year or two ago. Maybe the program was discontinued, or lack of funds, but they had surveyed the saltwater Tupper Pond. So are we talking about something like that?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, maybe I could get the students to go over and do the
That'd be
pond.
nice. Yeah, that'd be nice. You know, to be able to, the robots can, even in the ocean, robots can dive deeper and stay longer.
Yeah.
It all depends upon how long that cable is, that connects the
Well, but
robot.
not remotely
Oh,
controlled.
it could be that too.
And you sit on a shore and
yeah.
you get something that's going along underwater with a little
Most of the time it would be locally, like on a pond, that would be the case. But for deep sea stuff, you'd be from a vessel, and you'd be controlling the robot with the lights, but those are big robots. However, you have 16, 17-year-old kids designing the robot to be underwater and to do various tasks. They had to maneuver the robot around an obstacle course in the experimental tank. They had to lift some weights that were put in the bottom of the tank, and other things that would be. But the exciting part of it is that they came in first, which is fantastic.
Now, where was this competition held?
In the Newport Naval Base.
And what schools?
All the schools in New England were invited to participate,
Wow,
and they came in number 1.
that is amazing.
Yes, it is.
And
It
what
is.
grade level?
High school.
But junior, senior,
Oh,
sophomore?
I don't know. There could be an array of students that participated
Each.
in there, but there were 6 kids that did this.
Now, is that going to be some sort of a diploma? Will they get a diploma, a special diploma?
Well, not this one, because this was just a competition in there.
No, I mean like when they graduate.
If it gets to a big program, yeah, they would receive a high school diploma, and they would also receive a certificate saying, just like at Diamond, where you graduate from the carpentry shop, well, you'd graduate from robotics, and you have all of the.
Now, Diamond has robotics too?
No,
No.
no.
But but they don't have any space now for much of anything over here at this school.
Well, perhaps. I know they're full. I mean, you got 1,400 kids there.
They turn away a couple hundred each year.
I'm sorry?
They turn away a few
yes,
hundred
yeah,
because
that's
of
unfortunate.
lack of space.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but
It's terrible.
it is what it is. You can't hang the students on the ceiling.
Well, the state should, give the district some money to expand the school.
Well, there's a lot more than just that that comes into play. In that, when I was the superintendent there, The building was designed for 900 kids. Well, I brought them up to 1,100. My successor brought it up to 1,400. Actually, a little bit less than 1,400. And Mrs. Montleon brought it up even a little bit more. So there's about 1,400 kids, at Diamond, and I know they're stuffed. And they need to have an addition, which
Yeah.
Should indeed be.
The state should fund it, I mean, without even thinking about it, because the need for those types of students is great.
True, I agree. Just that, the reimbursement monies follow the students, and that's always a problem because of the
Well,
fact that...
I mean, if you have a strong governor and an education department, they just push these things along.
Well, it's just that the communities, if more kids go to Diamond, less students go to their own communities, then their community gets
Well, that's too bad.
I agree, but they don't look at it that way.
I know, we're talking about educating
That's right.
students.
Absolutely so.
Not because someone's got a job and they might have to actually go to work, somewhere else.
That's why I'm constantly pushing to have vocational programs at Durfee, because they are reimbursed at a higher rate than a regular ed kid.
I see.
In there, and that would mean more money coming into the city of Fall River without having a very much increase in local costs.
Now, what about the charter school? The charter school will be opening.
They're going to be
When?
opening grade 9 now, and this year is open in grade 9.
But they're building the new one.
Yeah, well, that hasn't started yet. The site hasn't been prepared, so that's going to be a while in there. But the Atlantis Charter School is now having a 9th grade. Alagrassi is having a 9th grade. I don't know about it's actually a private school, the one that's right across the street from the post office, main post office. I forget that name in there, but that's a private school. But they're still into the elementary and middle school area.
So it's right across the street from the post office.
Yes, that building that...
Next to the ladies' garment?
Well, the next building up toward Bedford Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is a thing that was in the, I'm going to this one paragraph I plucked out, but this is about the education secretary, the incoming education secretary. Maybe you can explain this, but basically it says, at her confirmation hearing on Tuesday to be education secretary, Betty DeVos vigorously defended her work steering taxpayer dollars from traditional public schools, arguing that it was time to move away from a, quote, one-size-fits-all, unquote, system and toward newer models for students from preschool to college.
She also stated that if the public school is failing, then help the public school not fail, but still those students that they come first, and if the public school is failing those kids, then those kids should be able to transfer to a charter school or some other facility, or a parochial school, and have taxpayer monies pay for it.
What does this mean, though? One size fits all. Move away from a, quote, one size fits all.
Well, it's just that you have a curriculum that everybody's going to go to college. That's not going to happen.
And
right.
You're right. And it's not a good idea anyway.
Right, and so that's like a one-size thing. These are the courses you're going to take, whether you like them or not.
Oh, I see.
So that, it's prescribed, this is what you take. And I don't have any problem with prescribed courses, because if you're going on to college, you major in something, anything, whatever you're going to major in, then you have required courses for that. So naturally, those are prescribed, those are required. And you have also electives to take, right? And those you can pick and choose whichever elective that you find to be interesting. But in a one-size-fits-all, that everybody is going to do this,
Certain-
and
No
whether-
electives?
Pardon? No, it's all prescribed for you, and so that's not. I don't think that's the best way of doing things.
No, it doesn't seem to. I used to, when I got to the point, maybe the first year or two, I don't know if there were any electives at the college level, but I know definitely at the junior and senior year, there were electives. And I used to enjoy choosing some courses that I said, I'm going to take that one because I like that one.
Yeah,
And
some
not-
some fun courses, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely
more than
so.
fun, but something I knew, like I took a real estate course. I said, I'm going to take that course because,
Well, it's interesting.
being a vocational student to begin with, it carried into, not house construction, but about houses, about
Right, when you-
buildings.
Well, yeah, not fun. I know what you were referring to, but it's not ha ha ha. Wow, this is fantastic. It's because if you're enjoying the course, you do better in that course.
Oh, I got a 90.
Cool. Yeah, and that's that's what I think that Diffie is striving to do, is to develop programs that direct students onto post-secondary education, and have some required courses, because every program has to have the 4 core courses: English, math, science, and social studies. You have to have that. That's required by law. And then the rest is electives.
Now, the guidance, the guidance counselor at the school, or the guidance department, however it's called today, would sit down with a student, and if a student tells the guidance counselor that they want to go into, say, electrical engineer at the college level, then that would be the job of the guidance counselor to say, well, you should take this elective or that elective.
Yeah, well, that's being done. One of the unfortunate things is that the student to counselor ratio is supposed to be 200 to 1, but when you have 300 to 1, I mean, sometimes the guidance counselors are overwhelmed, and that the student who is having trouble, disciplinary, wherever, in there, usurps much of the time of the counselor. And thus, when it comes to a student that, hey, I need some guidance as to what I should do, this is what I like, this is what I dislike, in there, that student might not have the time with the counselor that the student really
it's
needs.
300 to 1. I mean, a counselor, I mean, it'd be difficult, it seems, to fit everyone in for
Yeah.
an adequate amount of time,
Exactly.
because they really need to find out
Exactly,
something about
yeah.
the student's background.
Sure. Yeah, so you get the, I guess it's almost like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, that sort of thing. Of a student, the guidance counselors try their best to be able to accommodate the needs of the students. That's one of the reasons why I would like to see programs. I certainly believe in liberal arts, because liberal arts will serve the student well no matter what direction the student goes. However, if I am interested in engineering, then, which is my background, you know, if there was prescribed courses leading to that direction, right, you know, that would be of most help for me.
Yeah.
You know, my son is an engineer. Unfortunately, he lives in Oregon, and you know, he's a graduate from Diamond's machine metal. I'm sorry, drafting shop, right? So engineers have to take drafting when, you know, as a required course in college.
Well, you know, we mentioned drafting.
He had all of that already in high school.
Well, I think every student at Diamond had to take a drafting course.
True.
And that was, I believe,
Yeah, that was back when you and I were there. It was technical drawing.
yeah, well,
Same,
Kinda
basically the
same
same thing.
thing, yeah.
But not on computers. This is on
no,
computer stuff.
we had pencil and paper.
Yeah, it
I
absolutely.
remember
so.
Mr. Sullivan, I mean, he was a perfectionist.
Yeah.
He could, you know, when you call it technical drawing, I mean, he could draw blocks and this and that, and in ways that they were like 3D.
Yeah.
I was happy with a two-dimensional outcome. So yeah, everyone had to take that course at Diamond, right? Technical.
But the students every year we do a one-year follow-up study of the graduating class, and the data clearly shows that those students that have taken at least one vocational type class graduate at a higher percentage rate than the students who do not take at least one.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, what is a popular one at Durfee?
I wouldn't be able to tell you which one is the most popular, but you know, we're trying to expand the culinary program to also include the resiliency program as well in there, so that you're combining not only kids from Durfee that want to go into culinary, and also the kids from the RPS school. So go into culinary, and you can go then transfer to BCC and get a degree, an associate's degree in culinary arts, if you wish. You can transfer from there on to Johnson & Wales.
Johnson & Wales is quite a college these
Yes,
days.
it is.
That was a culinary arts institution to start off with,
Right, yeah.
but now it's a full-fledged.
Full-blown university, yeah, absolutely.
That,
Yeah. So you know, they can step in there, and yeah, so there's avenues. That's exactly what career and technical education is for. It's not to make you an immediate expert, you know, because you got a long way to go in there. But this is what you want to do. Fine, let's push that. You know, and I'm a firm believer in doing that, to have programs that are of interest to the student. Because once the student, as you indicated when we were just talking a few moments ago about fun, if it's not interesting, if it's not fun for the student, then the student is going to go,
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the competition in Newport. Not long from now, in May, will we be heading up to Marlborough
Yes.
for the Skills
for
USA?
Skills USA, yes.
I mean, it comes by
very, very
February,
fast.
March, April. Usually the beginning of May, or is it the end of May?
It's closer to the end of May.
End of May.
Right, right.
So that,
Yeah, that's always exciting. You know, I used to fund the school. At that time, it was called VICR, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. Now it's Skills USA, name change. But every year I would fund it, and it just grew and grew
it's
and grew.
huge now.
Yeah, now it's you know, Diamond sends a lot of kids over to competition at there, and then they go on to, those that win at the state level go on to national competition.
Not in Marlboro, that's state level?
Yeah, state level,
Okay,
right.
and then national competition,
Normally, it's in Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yeah, yeah, even in Massachusetts, when you get 7,000 kids in the Marlboro Convention Center, right? It's a huge open hall, but you cram that full of all those kids in there, and they're all screaming to support their teams. It's really something. It really is impressive. But unfortunately, I never went to the national competition because of the fact I always wanted the money to send the students and the advisors to go with them in there. So my job was to come up with the money to pay for it.
Well, you think an idea such as Fall River having a mini type competition of some sort?
Well, there's a local competition, which is the local schools. There's a local competition within your own school, right? And to basically select the best prepared student or students, if it's a team, from that school. Then there's a regional, and it's the Southeast Regional, which would be Diamond, Durfee, if they have a team or a group of students, New Bedford, Taunton.
So it doesn't have to be all vocational schools?
It can be a comprehensive school if it has vocational programs.
So Durfee with the robotic program could potentially be a competitor.
Yeah, they would be able to compete as well.
Have they competed?
No, because of the fact that that program, unfortunately, still needs to be kicked off. It's, that team of 6 kids who won the New England competition in Newport Naval Base, but it's still not an official program, and we're working to make that as an official program.
Even though they came number 1.
Yes, yes. So, I really am going to be pushing to have that established.
Well, we're getting down to the end of the program. Goes by quickly. Anything you'd like to mention before we close?
No, I enjoy coming on your program.
Good.
It's fun.
We'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You'll let Gabe Andrade know.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope he feels better. He hasn't a little under the weather today.
Right. And I just I spent an awful long portion of my life as an educator.
Yeah.
And it's something that I enjoy. It's always a pleasure when you see or meet a graduate in a grocery store or whatever, but it's 15 years later, and you can't recognize them because they changed so much.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey, Mr. Martins, you remember me? What's your name?" And I'll say if I remember you.
You look familiar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I do. I think I remember you. You look familiar.
Yeah, so it's fantastic.
All right. I guess that's about it. So thank you out there for watching, and I'll see you next time. And Mr. Martins will be on with Gabe Andrade in 3 weeks. They come on every 3 weeks. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.